All right, hello, all of you wonderful, wonderful people. It is your boy Rye Lion, and joining me tonight for the first ever Team Gap recap is none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, the sexy Wookiee monster. And joining our analyst desk tonight as well is the other man, the other myth, and the other legend that you all know of so much is Dark, the man himself. You can't see him except for the poker face, but I'll tell you, it's identical to human. So, but yeah, no, this is the first ever recap that we have ever done for Team Gap. So we're gonna go over week one results. What to look for in the current play style of League of Legends. What we've seen from the teams already. Like we're gonna go ahead and dive into a lot of stuff here tonight. But Wookie, go ahead, start us off. What are we looking at in the standings here thus far?
All right, let's get to the standings right off the bat. First week. All right, we had Donkey Punch versus Rogue Upsets, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a
2-0.
what's the score? That was a 2-0
Oh yeah.
from which
Donkey
one?
Punch won that one.
Donkey Punch. Okay,
Yes,
so
So
sir.
rogue upsets got upsetted, huh?
They did.
yeah, there is definitely a lot of 2-0s this week. That was one of them. I'm actually not surprised. I mean, some of the people on Donkey Punch, like we have some veterans like Psych Out. I mean, I think he's the only veteran on that team. Maybe I think one other person played before. I'm not sure which one, but
But Psycho,
yeah,
we already know has really strong like leadership and the standard that he brings to a team overall. Prepping, I believe, going into week one. I'm sure they did plenty of prepping. I'm sure he had a lot of
oh
things
yeah,
for them to go ahead and build off of. Like he has a lot of experience there. But like you mentioned, we had a bunch of 2-0s. Here in week one. Donkey Punch versus Rogue Upsets was one of
yeah.
them.
That was a
Uh,
FF, so it wasn't like official match.
That's
But
right.
Donkey
Yeah.
Punch putting on a strong show already. Let's go. Okay.
All
Uh,
day.
Unfortunately, Rogue Upsets couldn't get the scheduling quite right, but yeah,
You know what?
that's all really to
Honestly.
say about that one. I mean, I hope that Rogue Upsets can come back for this week because I mean, I think Matthias is on that team and he's been a Gap veteran for a little bit now. I think he played a little bit on Pink in Silver Season,
Yep.
so hopefully they can actually play this week so we can see them. I know they're trying to look. I think they're trying to look for an ADC right now. So if anybody, if anybody can sub for them or even be on the main roster, go hit them up. If you're in the PCL, please do that. They're looking. Let's go to Shrimp Gang versus Counter Target Spell. This was the streamed game of Thursday. This was such a poggers game. And
That
I watched some of it. I'm like, oh my god, hottest cashiers team versus Jack Spectrum's team. Oh no, the first match of the season was definitely a banger.
Oh,
It is on YouTube.
100%.
Go back and look at it. Do you have any like stats of that game, Dark? Like who played what? Like what
Uh,
were some of the stat lines?
well, it was a streamed gap, so streamed gap. It was a streamed game. But the champion in itself, I think both teams showed a really good showing of what champions they can pull out and they pulled out and what we can expect from them in the
Yeah,
future.
I'm looking at the drafts here, and Shrimp Gang actually took a game off of Counter Target Spell.
Yes,
Uh,
they did.
Jack's team, they had some interesting picks. We did see a Vigar at one point, which as far as I'm concerned, I think as far as the meta goes, it's like Victor or Corky. But Victor was banned out that game, so like there's a lot of like nuances for that. But like the Vigar, I guess was a problem because looking at the scores here, that Vigar did pretty well.
You're talking about the 8-1 game?
Yeah.
Nah, Victor was not banned out that game.
Or maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I mean, Jack put it in a weird order on the results page,
Oh,
but
Yeah, but like there was a Weigar. It wasn't. I don't think it was the same Weigar they were thinking about, but there was also a Gangplank that I pulled out that went 8-4. So I think Gangplank in the mid lane is already a niche pick. Not all people play Gangplank in
oh,
the mid lane, and But yeah, I mean, I see a lot of different play styles going on, like already. Like you have Warrior in the first game, and then you have Gangplank in the second game. You have a Jax up in the top lane, and then you switch it up with a Diana jungle in the same game. So there's a lot of things going on, especially in the counter target spell versus Shrimp Gang game. Um, Obviously both teams were like part of Gab since last season, last split, and we have already like seen what they're capable of. We're just looking at what they could bring more to the table, and I think pulling out stuff like Gangplank mid, especially in I guess a competitive setting, is pretty nice, as you would say, pretty poggers.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see it often. I mean, I know like both of them are veterans, like you said, both teams, and it's a strong showing. A 2-1, like that's not bad for two veteran teams.
Hmm.
Moving on though, obviously, since one team did drop out, we do have a bye. Relinquish Renegades will get 2 points for that bye. Then we have University of Montreal versus Sitting on Awards, which I believe was a 2-0. And I'm actually surprised because, like, we haven't seen, obviously, we don't know much about University of Montreal's team, but it was kind of expected that Sitting on Awards, okay, that's a stacked team. Javi's
That's
team,
yeah.
Oh
Javi's
yes.
team with Agassi, Decomp, Dank, and Fridge. Oh man, so
Woo!
for a first game, that might have shook it up Montreal a little bit. I would say, looking at the scores. I mean, the first game it looked pretty even, honestly. The second game is kind of where it took off. I think with the max deaths on Javi's team was 3 in the second game. Like, and then they had ridiculous score lines. So, um, congratulations to them. They beat University of Montreal, but hopefully they can come back in the next or this week rather. Then we have EBK versus Pegaclop. Um, these are two off-server teams, so I believe what was the results there?
Pepega ended up 2-0ing. So
Pega 2-0.
yeah, EBK was unfortunately the underdog in that one, and yep, they came out swinging hard. Pepega did, and picked up the dub on that one. I'm looking for the results right now as we speak.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
EBK had a couple of missteps with subs. I think
yeah,
even a little bit same with Pepega, if I'm not mistaken. But once they get the scheduling correct, maybe they won't have to sub. But EBK definitely, it's only the first week. No worries there.
it was still a
Um,
close game though overall. Like it was only 16-11. They did only play one game, in that
yeah,
series, but still a very close game. I still expect a lot out of both of these teams, and just because you got 0-2'd in the first round does not mean anything going into week two. I mean, a lot happened
right.
last split, and we've seen in other splits as well. So, like you said, don't discount anybody just yet.
Yep, and there was a 7-0 Victor that game, so please keep your eyes on
Exactly.
Victor. Victor just one of my favorite champions. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to Division 2, which couple of interesting things here. First off, we
Very.
have Eggplant versus NA Speedrun, and NA Speedrun did get 2-0'd, which surprised me a little bit because I thought that team was actually gonna at least shrug a game off of Eggplant, which Eggplant do have some very synergistic people on their team. But so does in a speed run, which was interesting to me that they didn't take a game off. But Eggplant being, for me it's biased. For Rylian, it's biased because we have our boy Laser and Mustard and Volps even as subbing for that team. So yeah, we're a little biased, but you know, no no shame to NA Speedrun. They definitely have a good team. I feel like because they did have subs that game, so which was I think was the kind of impactful part of that. If they didn't have those subs, they might have been able to shrug a game off of Eggplant. But
And
Yeah.
Transcend is also on NA Speedrun, is he not?
no, Transcend is
Okay.
on Bandits in Pajamas, right?
That's right. My apologies.
Yeah, you're good. Moving on. No, he's not Mustard. He's on Bandits.
He is on
We'll get
Bandit.
to that game in a second because that was actually a fairly interesting game. Double McFeeders versus X Rising. We didn't unfortunately get to stream them on Sunday, but X Rising, they 2-0 Double McFeeders. Kind of no surprise there because X Rising was the champions of the Silver Split last season,
Yes,
and yeah,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Double McFeeders. They had subs like Magus is saying right now. Yeah, full roster should come back. Should be better. Now you learn. At least you got through the hard. I think one of the hardest teams to get through this split. Not gonna lie, the X
Like
Rising stacked.
X Rising is a personal favorite here. Or would be, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eggplant and X Rising definitely. I mean, X Rising has Cappy, my boy. Like he's just my boy, my favorite mid laner. Um, so
Love to
moving
see
on.
it.
Bias aside, anyways, yeah. In other words, yeah, you do need to put all your stops for X Rising. Like whenever you see them on the schedule, be like, oh man, we really gotta do something
Yeah,
about them.
hopefully we can get a streamed game for X Rising Esports if they are able to get a default game in, so we could
Yeah,
show everybody what X Rising is capable of. Like we already know that we're winners from Silver Split, so they're obviously good. So
yeah.
we just need to show it to everybody and like prove a point here, I guess.
I
You
do
guys are
think
giving them the caster's curse. They're just gonna get O2'd immediately. Like,
nah.
Would be
And yeah, I do have
unfortunate.
to agree with Magus. I mean, looking at the game itself,
It
the
was a
the
close game,
game
but the
was
first bit.
very close. But
Yeah.
I mean, Techi going 12-1, like holy moly.
Also, you have to
Ah,
realize that a lot of I think two players on X Rising Esports have changed their roles. They're not play.
that's
I
true.
think Tachi was top laner for last spring split, and I think Cappy
Yeah,
was playing something else. So they have changed roles, so they're not the most comfortable on their roles as what I would assume, right? Coming into the new season, playing different champions. But even then, like Techi going 12-1 and 4, it's pretty impressive to say the least.
yeah. Burrs was ADC and Techi was top, and then they swapped. So nothing
Yeah.
really changed besides that. But they're
So,
still a
yeah.
strong team. I mean, they just have synergy that you just have to respect. And going in, I mean, unfortunately for Double McFeeders having the subs and also facing a very good team, you'll come back. Don't worry. You have lesser, I think, skilled teams. Not gonna lie, just not to flame anybody, but personal favorite. Anyways, moving
I'm
on.
biased. Okay. All right, we're moving
Sorry,
on. Hmm.
that's toxic. All right, Sniper Gang versus Across the Map. We also did not get to stream this game, but looking at the stat lines, Across the Map did 2-1 Sniper Gang, which I'm actually kind of happy that Sniper Gang did take a game off of Across the Map. Very toxic, but Across the Map, I think has a decent lineup. I
I mean,
believe that. Sorry.
I was gonna say Across the Map has GG No Rematch that has
Yeah.
previously played in Plat miniseries
Yeah.
and was actually the winner of Plat miniseries. So, like coming into this Silver to Plat series, I would assume that he's one of the players that I am actually looking forward to like watching him play a little more and showcase his talents in the mid lane now that he was playing bot lane in the Plat's miniseries, but now he has swapped his role, gone to mid lane, and he's doing pretty good for himself. So I want to keep an eye out for him at least.
Yeah, they also have Mr. Shmee, who
me,
was a
yeah.
support
Yes, yes.
in the Gold League of last split, so that was pretty pog. So yeah, they were able to 2-1. Congratulations to them. Um, moving on, Bandits in Pajamas versus Welfare Check Abusers. Now, this is a very interesting game, and Bandits in Pajamas, they have Young Shax, Transcend, Solo X Kill, Now You See Me, and Soko Nishimiya. I think I pronounced that right. But
Hmm.
the thing is that they're facing a full silver team from last split, and I'm surprised because I feel like Hammered's team, or rather Yeah, is this Hammer's team? Hammer's team. I feel like they could have taken a game off of Bandits, but I guess not. Somebody walk me through like what happened there.
I mean, even in the Hammer's team, I don't know if Hammer has changed his name or whatever, but I know the mid laner. I think it's Snacks for them.
Yeah.
Um, the person's name is Snacks. And he was actually a goal in a gold team, and he was one of big reasons why his team Gold Gray, if I'm correct,
Yep.
went off till to playoffs. So it's definitely interesting, as you said, they weren't able to take off a game from Bands in Pajamas, and we already know Young Shax's known for his Poppy, getting Poppy, I think, both games.
Yeah.
Um, no, one game. So
Or
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
getting Poppy is like kind of an easy win for him, right? Like getting his most played champion in a competitive environment that he's known for. He's also playing jungle, which is surprising because he was a top laner in the Gold Series. So a lot of lane changes happening from everybody in this like the PCL, I guess.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So moving on, we got the streamed game of Friday was Ventures versus Stupid Team Diff. That was definitely a banger of a series. A lot of back and forth, and apologies for the technical difficulties on that one, but we did get to catch a very interesting play made from both sides. We'll show that in a bit, but I kind of want to go through like what are your guys' thoughts on Stupid Team Diff going forward?
You want to go ahead and start off with that there, Dark? Because that
Sure. Stupid team. The first of all, I love the name. I just don't like the short form of it, the STD. I don't think we should be saying that, but anyways, stupid team. If we already know Desi, one of the mid laners, mid king from last season,
Mhm.
is on that team, and everybody knows how good Desi is on Yasuo, and I think it's his most played champion. But not getting the Yasuo all 3 games, I think it was banned every single time, or yeah.
Yeah.
So not getting Yasuo, playing his different champions. I think he pulled out Kennen in one of the game. If I
He
Yeah.
did. Yep, that was the final game.
yeah, the final game, pulling out Kennen mid lane, surprising, but it worked really well. He ended up doing the most damage in his team. So it just goes to show that Desi King is a person you need to worry about going forward. You need to see his sample. He's not just a Yasuo one trick. He can play other champions, so you need to pay a little more respect. But other than that, I think that his whole team performed extremely well around him. Like Permaban playing top lane, Nar 2 games, Wukong one time, and doing extremely well in his solo lane. I think he was like solo killing the enemy top laner like a lot of times, which is I think to be expected. Permaban was also on one of the plat teams, being a gold player on the plat team. I think goes to show that he is a good player. That's
Yeah,
why
the Nar
I
man himself, as I remember.
the Nar man himself,
The
and
Nar man himself.
I
And I
think
mean, I mean,
sorry, yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Nar was like a heavily contested pick in those series. Like both
Yeah,
top laners were Nar players, and Permaban getting the better Nar. I think he first picked it both times that he got it. So I mean, it's just whoever gets the Nar wins the game, I suppose. Because it was a 2-1.
yeah, it was a 2-1. I mean, we gotta give it to everybody else on Stupid Team. If I mean, they have a stacked team. Persona, I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
shout out to you because I know you're subbing for this team, but you know you're one of the Gap veterans. Same with Arsenic Fox. Same with Gitano. Even Zeagle, who was on I believe a silver team before as well.
I
Uh,
think so.
all these players like just very very good players. So I'm actually a little surprised that you guys shrugged a game off of Ventures. It's a little surprising, but I'm sure you guys will do fine moving forward. But it is what it
oh,
is.
you
And
also
now
have
we're
to give
gonna.
credit. Oh,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
also have to give credit to the Samira player.
Yeah,
I think all
Yeah.
3 games, the enemy bot lane for the bot lane for Ventures was pretty strong in all 3 games, and getting that pentakill, the
yeah,
first of the series, if I'm not wrong. So I mean, it's definitely something everybody has to look forward to. Like
yeah. Noxus
giving him
strike.
Samira,
Oh my gosh.
like
Yeah.
giving him Samira is could be the death of your game, I suppose.
Yeah, Noxus Strike definitely pulled like one of the, I mean, a highlight for sure. Not to mention like
Absolutely.
Pug is lost and Parcel, they are a duo, I believe. So it was definitely kind of, I feel like it was kind of granted that they would take a game off of stupid team diff, but I mean, geez, Noxus Strike actually pulled it out. Like we're gonna show that clip just now, and I mean it was a pretty nice clip to kind of repeat. I watched it a few times. I'm like, oh my god. So we're gonna show that here in 1 second.
The Ryline.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if any of them are from Florida, but
Right.
it might be.
Yeah, so this is gonna be it.
Might be the Megan
Unless
pulls
they
in.
do stupid dives here, this is probably gonna be the end of the game.
Herman
here.
dies for it, but I think the rest of them get it. Lots of
No,
damage going down from the Gitano. Just
Samira
kidding. That's a Samira Pentakill. That's a Samira Pentakill. That's a team got the ace. Not just shy pulls it in. They got so
We
greedy.
are giving her the Rylion Pentakill Award.
Oh my god. So Noxstrike not. They're not. I guess they're not done.
So I was just literally saying, if they do stupid dives, they can throw it here. They no longer have Baron. They
And yeah, that was quite the clip. That's definitely going into one of the highlight clips or highlight videos that, by the way, we do have those open. Submit your clips. I mean, throughout the whole month of February, we're doing like a kind of a February, all of February highlight clips instead of like I think it was more of a bi-monthly kind of thing. So go ahead and submit your clips. I already got that downloaded. Don't worry about that one. But any other clips that you guys see, or even ones that you record yourself, go ahead and submit those as well. But moving on. So that was the schedule of last week. Now we have this week, and here goes the standings for this week because we got a little bit to talk about this, and then we'll move on. We didn't want this to go too long, but we'll try to get through these as quickly as we can. But yeah, walk me through these team standings. What do you guys think?
I mean, to be honest, this is obviously isn't going to stay like with this like three-way tie for first for very long or anything like that. But I'm definitely excited to see a few of these mixture of lower teams because eventually they're going to be versing each other, and then someone's going to get some points, and from there they're just all going to rise. I hope we don't have a lot of 2-0s moving into the first few weeks. After like between like 2 and 5, like I want there to be like a huge mixture, not like this giant disparaging gap going like
Wow.
towards the end of the normal season. I really want there to be like a lot of Game 3 series. I know it's going to put a lot of strain on the casting crew themselves, and I'm sorry, but be prepared to have no life for at least Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, hopefully. And then, that's just what I hope to see moving forward. But these teams that are in first place, they have a very good commanding lead. I think they've done outstanding so far. The teamwork, even though we haven't seen them all, it's obviously there. So I'm very much looking forward. And the ones that we have seen, they're just going to keep on growing at this point. So, 1 week down, 7 more to go, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also one more thing that we all have to realize is like a lot of the bottom tier teams right now, Rogue Upsets, EBK, UDEM, all of those teams had some sort of scheduling issues, so they had to play with subs, and they had to like FF a game or two. So
Right.
so just think about that. I think going into the next week, if they're able to get their scheduling corrected and having players on time, I am pretty sure the standing is going to change. I believe in all the teams that are playing, the caliber that we have here in Team Gap is going to be something to look forward to. Um, and all the top tier teams, obviously, they did amazing. But again, going forward, you have to just keep an eye out on those teams that haven't really gotten a chance to play with their full rosters. So yeah.
Okay. I definitely agree, and I do have a question for you, Dark, because you did drop a champion chart of who's or how many times a champion has played. Do you think the standings right now kind of reflect these meta picks that have been going through? Like we see that Jinx was picked 6 times. Do you think any of these standings have any relevancy towards champion picks and things like that?
Definitely. I think for the most part, like champions in the meta are obviously going to be champions that are stronger, right? That's why it's a meta, but behind those champions. But we have seen some niche picks here and there. As I said, Gangplank mid lane was there. We had a Xerath ADC. It didn't do so well, but it was there, right? So Xerath ADC, it did lose. And there was a Karina player. I know Duckmark's not here, but I'm guessing he's smiling, sitting at home watching this. There was a Karina game. Again, it did lose, I think. But yeah, going forward, I think if people in the games start picking up champions like Jinx, and Kate are already good ADCs, but we haven't seen too much of Victor, right? As you said, Victor in the mid lane is kind of broken right now, so people not playing Victor is a little surprising to me personally. Obviously, some champions like Samira, it's not the strongest in the meta, but we have seen how Noxus Strike plays Samira, so it's something to be very off, I think. But it's obviously, again, if you pick champions that are stronger, Senna was really, really strong in the last patch because you could play her ADC, get stacks, and the slow buff was pretty strong, if I'm not wrong. Rallyon's an ADC too, so I mean, if you have any thoughts on ADC meta right now, um, for sure, go for it.
My only thought, my one and only thought, shout out to a lot of my supports as well. Grand Theft Auditor there. He's a Taric main, best Taric NA. We have been destroying solo queue with Ashe Taric. I'm an Ashe absolute simp. I love her so much. Caitlyn as well, obviously. Kai'Sa's been a little bit underwhelming this season, so that's usually why you don't see her a lot. But like Ashe definitely top tier, and Jinx definitely top tier as well. Like those are my top three right now. Jinx, Caitlyn, and Ashe is number one.
Yeah, so ADC is pretty set in stone meta. Jinx, Caitlyn, always going to be your first picks, right? And then there's some niche ADCs like Ziggs and Veigar that's really relevant in solo queue.
Right.
I think it's pretty strong even in competitive. So like try picking Ziggs. It's a really good answer to a lot of these late game carries where you can just match their pace throughout the game and even like outpace them in certain opportunities. I know Wookiee is a mid laner, so I would like Wookiee to say what his thoughts are on the meta and how he wants
Bruh,
the meta to be
it's
changed.
just Victor, bro. I okay. I want to see the nerf come out first, if there is any nerf to Victor, before I start like diving into it. I know I should probably play my placements with Victor mainly, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't play a lot of Corki either, so I'm surprised that Corki wasn't picked a lot in this series. And I believe the only two Corki picks was from Laser Sniped, who played on Eggplant
Mhm.
both times, and I think he did pretty well on them if I remember correctly. I'm just surprised not a lot of Corki picks in this first week at least, because there are going to be some nerfs coming through. I feel it in my soul. There's gonna be Corki and Victor nerfs or something, futuristic
I,
nerfs coming
I
through.
think
But
Corki did get a nerf where his package is now delayed from 8 minutes starting to 10 minutes.
is
So
that a nerf? Like, does that really do much? I don't know.
it's like and his like also the timer on it went from 4 minutes to 5 minutes now between each package.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
not like a big nerve. It's not gonna push him out of the meta altogether. But in my opinion, personally, I think that having that 10 minute instead of 8 minutes, you can't fight for that first Rift Herald. We
It's
don't
true.
see a lot of teams going for that first Rift Herald, but it's obviously a play when you have a Corki on your team, right? 8 minutes, even if you're not fighting for the first dragon, then Rift Herald play is always going to be that play. So if you don't use it, then you're trolling a little bit, right? Because you already have a package, you have nothing to use it for. But now it's pushed back to 10 minutes, so you can't use it at 8 minutes. You can't use it at first dragon spawn even at 5 minutes. So Corki as a
Right.
champion who's really good at late game scaling is going to be more focused on that late game scaling and can't really participate in that early 10 minutes fights, right? Like his early game damage just always has been low, and now without that extra benefit of having that package, having that opportunity to like change a fight just because he can go in and then jump out, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely think Corki Victor right now, even with that package nerf or like a small nerf, is still really good into the meta, especially that Corki Ludens build, I think, that's going around. So people should pick it up, in my opinion, at least. The top lane meta is I have no idea. I don't play top lane. Honestly, top lane and jungle is one of my worst roles. I don't really pay attention to them either. So I don't really know which champion is best. I know Tryndamere right now can be flexed mid, can be also play top lane. Is pretty strong in the lane in itself. So I think I want to see more of different champions to have an idea of what's working and what's not working. As I said before, the Gnar pickup on those 3 games where like Gnar probably has like 100% pick rate in like in Gnar games, not 100% pick rate, a huge pick rate. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like champions like Nasus was even picked twice. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
We got a mixture. We definitely got a mixture of
A lot of
people who
split
know.
pushers.
Yeah, a lot of split pushers. Like we saw Pug on Urgot just literally living in top lane all the way to the end of that game.
Tryndamere, we saw.
Tryndamere.
I've seen a lot of Yorick recently, not necessarily in the league itself, but
Shout
you
out to
know,
Persona, the Yorick himself.
eh, but yeah,
Where
no,
you
like that
at,
top lane
baby?
meta right now just seems to be like, let me go ahead and split push. Like you have to have like a 4v5 kind of comp, or at least try to be a 4v5, and at least match the split pushing capabilities. So it's like if you do have a Yorick, try to go Nasus, try to go Urgot, do somebody that can try to match the Urgot or the other split pusher at least. It was what I tend to see in the current meta right now because I can't even tell you how many times it's like we steamroll 5v4, but yet that top lane is just being pushed all the way in. They get the inhib, and then that just the whole feng shui of all of the success that we've been doing the whole entire game gets thrown off because
Yeah.
now we have supers barging into our top or our mid or our bot lane or all three potentially, depending on how long we allow them to constantly push. And which leads to them getting, higher jungle objectives, more barons, and then they get that comeback gold anyways. It's so irritating. That is the worst part that League of Legends has brought into this so far is that comeback gold. Oh, I hate that.
true, that's true. Yes, exactly. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the game the players of League of Legends, I guess, they all agree on that point that the comeback gold is a bit hard mechanic.
Overtuned.
It is overtuned. Yes, I think that for lack of a better term, overtuned. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to go about what was like the support pick, the last and the final pick. A lot of supports are fixed. There's a Leona picked at 4, Lulu, Lux, Seraphine, and there's a few Sennas. So I think Leona is always a good support. Can't go wrong with that. A tank that can go and CC everybody for 4 seconds. I think pretty good champion, right? So, but
Yep.
like, there's a lot of Seraphines picked, which I love. I love Seraphine, as a champion. I'm a big Seraphine connoisseur. So I like Seraphine getting picked, but I also like getting to like see people play Seraphine APC. I think it's a underrated pick. It's really popular in Plat Plus, but I think in competitive people can pick it and try and see if it works for them. I think the playstyle in itself is like it's different from support. It's different from in a regular APC. Like if you play Ziggs APC, right? You're not just like pushing waves permanently. Even if you can, but you're still scaling into late game. You're playing for your team rather than playing for you know and the opportunity to like push out a lane or whatever. So I want to see more Seraphine APCs. If anybody plays, I'm looking forward to seeing that again. But yeah, support meta, I think it's not gonna change too much. I think Leona, Lulu, Lux pretty strong in the meta right now with Caitlyn especially. And since Caitlyn is one of the higher picked AD carries, I am not surprised that Lux is up there with her. So so yeah, that kind of wraps up all the champions that have been picked.
Nice. Well,
I like
moving
it.
on. Yeah, I like it too. We got Division 2 standings here on your screen now. Now this division obviously has 10 teams, so it's pretty even. I mean, not much to say here. Pretty standard across the board. obviously so we take into account the amount of time that the games took in these standings. So for the first week, it might look a little weird, but moving on, like Ryan had said earlier, these will even out, and there's going to be a lot of scores, different scorings for each week. So yeah, pretty standard here. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about these division standings. I mean, we Sapphire, Eggplant, and Red. We already know. We already know.
I mean, like I said, from the first one, it's like, we are only in week 1. I hope to see a lot more mixture. I want to see a lot of game 3s going into weeks, 2 through 5 at least. We could start to see a little bit more of the 2-0 action happening towards the end of the series because it won't be that important. Not to mention, everybody does, not in Division 2, but at least in Division 1, everyone does get that bye week for right now. So, they are going to get those 2 points per week additional. So that's one thing that they do have to fall back on is at the very least, the worst you could possibly do is 2 points in Division 1 throughout the entirety of this thing. You know what I mean? So that's something to look forward to. While in Division 2, it's a fight every single week to climb the standings, climb the ladder. Once again, just because Purple's starting off 0-2, and same thing with Lavender and Double McFeeders, doesn't really play a whole lot right now because eventually these top tier teams are going to verse each other and one of them is going to come out victorious. So, I'm very much looking forward to this entire next 7 weeks, definitely.
I am as well. And speaking of the next several weeks, we're going to get right into this week's schedules as tomorrow we have VCL happening. And I believe one of the teams is playing on the 10th. I believe that is I don't remember which one that is. Looking back now, I actually don't remember.
Miami University Red Hawks.
Yeah.
Red Hawks? Okay.
On 10. Yes.
Gotcha. So yeah, that match is going to be on the 10th. Now that leaves 2 matches for tomorrow, as far as we know. Now, it's kind of, we didn't really get a decision on which game we're actually streaming because the captains haven't really posted in the scheduling chat as they're supposed to. And don't forget, all of PCL needs to do that as well. Please schedule your matches. Make sure you put which teams you're facing, or at least the captains. Make sure you post which teams you're facing. And if it's a reschedule, make sure you at the execs, please. But for tomorrow, which one of these, Ryleon, would you want to try to stream?
Out of these tomorrow so far, I'm gonna go with Miami University Redhawks and Chrono.
That's on the 10th, though.
I'm so sorry.
My bad. I should have specified. Yeah.
Okay, no, my apologies. For the 9th itself, I mean, it really comes down to these captains things. I can't really dictate which one, but if I'm gonna go with round number 1, I would like to see Destroying Expectations versus Team Cosmic Remix.
Okay.
I just like. First off, the sound of their names are really out there. The team names themselves are just phenomenal this split. 100%. I love every single one of them. There's not one that I hate so far. So, and if worse comes to worse, if Ermines versus Calm Legends wants to go ahead and get their streamed, we'll go ahead and have that happen as well.
Yeah, and I mean, going through the teams, these are, 3 of them are off-server teams, 3 of them are in-server. Now, I can talk a little bit about Destroying Expectations because I had the very good pleasure of playing with Amanified and Monahana in the Plat League. That was definitely an experience I will never forget. But their team is pretty stacked right now, considering Monahana and Amanified, they're Diamond now. So it's really cool to see them in action because even though I'm not with them, I couldn't join them for this split. I definitely look forward to streaming that match tomorrow, and I will see if we can get those casters ready and make sure that we get that stream because I mean Team Cosmic Remix, they have a stacked team as well. Looking at their OPGG, it's really like this is high elo gameplay and you won't want to miss it.
What time tomorrow?
It should be I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern if scheduled otherwise. So as I said, we'll have to see what they post in the scheduling chat. They haven't posted yet, but like I said, make sure you guys post at least 24 hours prior so that we know, like, hey, this game is going on. Otherwise, if we don't see the match results after 24 hours of the day, then it's just no points to either team. So make sure you guys do that. So yeah, moving on, we do have the schedule for PCL, and wow, walk me through, like, what are your thoughts? Like, City Onwards gets the bye. We now get to see Relinquish Renegades pull out their team against Shrimp Gang, who did lose in the first round. So, and then we have Counter Target Spell taking on Donkey Punch. Rogue Upsets, hopefully they can get their team together for this one, versus EBK. And then we have the two off-server teams, Montreal versus Pegaclop. Yeah, like, what are your expectations for these ones?
Dark, you want to go ahead and take a swing at this one first?
Sure. First of all, I am really excited to watch Relinquished actually get to play their games of
Absolutely.
the week, because they haven't been able to play the first week. So the second week coming in, I am excited for Relinquished Renegades. I think the captain is a mod on the server. Hardcore. Shout out to Hardcore and his team. So obviously a mod bias going on, but I'm really looking forward watching into Shrimp Gang, especially a Gap veteran team. So it'll be a fun, exciting game. I hope the schedule. I think they already scheduled their game. I don't know if you can stream it. Yeah,
It
we
is
should
on
be
the
able to stream it.
10th.
It is on the 10th. It is a default date, but it's
Yeah.
on 9 o'clock. So we'll see if we can stream it or not. But yeah, I am excited for that matchup. I am excited to see both the teams go at it. Going forward, counter target spell versus Donkey Punch. Again, Donkey Punch wasn't able to play because they won the game through FF, right? The rogue upsets weren't able to show up with a 5-man roster, so Donkey
Right.
Punch was able to go ahead and win that game with an FF. But I am excited again to see them play their first series. And rogue upsets versus EBK. Same thing with rogue upsets and EBK, especially because EBK had to drop game number 2 due to, again, scheduling issue. So both these teams, Rogue Upsets and EBK, have technically their first game of this, like, the split. University Montreal versus Pegaclop. Truthfully, Pegaclop probably the best name of the team. Uh, Division One.
Shout out to Mustard. You
I was
love to
about to
see
say
that
that.
icon, Mustard.
The icon on Pegaclop is just amazing. I don't know what else to say over there. I don't know either of the teams. I don't know any player on that team, on those teams, but I am looking forward to see a university team play. And if, like, again, we can't stream all the games, I would wish we could, obviously, but we're I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table. We already saw their first week games, or like saw the results of their first week games, and while they did lose, they had a good performance, right? The games were pretty even throughout the series of every single game. There wasn't any like, oh, this game was a super stomp or whatever. So that's really good news. That shows that the skill bracket of a whole Division 1 and Division 2, I think, for the most part, is pretty even. So again, I'm pretty excited. What are your thoughts, Riley, on?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much hit it on the head with like every single one of these assumptions here. I mean, we actually get to see in Division One here a lot of these teams play hopefully throughout the entire Game 3 series, that they're not able to, or not able, but that they don't have to worry about like a scheduling issue. My favorite one coming into this week though, that I'm looking forward to just results wise, is probably going to be Counter Target Spell versus Donkey Punch. They're both really, really strong teams. Counter Target Spell also being one of our veteran teams, like you have stated before, coming into the Panther Chameleon League here for 2022. And then Donkey Punch, yes, they won, granted through forfeit, but still, I think that they have a really strong roster overall. And I think that one's going to be a very good game. So technically, they're both, in the top tiers right now. 2-1, I believe, counter target spell. And then it's 2-0 for Donkey Punch. So it's definitely going to be a great game.
Okay, well, moving on then, we have Division 2 matchups. Though these are going to be very interesting. It's a little bit of insider slash bias. that Eggplant is a little scared of X Rising. I'm gonna put them on the spot. But first off, before we get to that, we have Welfare Check Abusers versus Sniper Gang, Across the Map versus Double McFeeders, NA Speedrun Ventures, and then Bandits in Pajamas versus Stupid Team Diff. So yeah, I gotta put you guys on the spot. No, but you guys, that's gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a banger series. If we could, like, I know like scheduling might be hard for both of them, but I would love to stream that game, and especially since we didn't get to see X Rising in the first week, that would be a really, really, really good game to watch. I feel like that could definitely be a 3-game series.
Really?
We'll see, but
yeah.
dang. All right, everybody's raging in the chat now. Woo.
Well, we'll have to tune in then on February 11th to see who's actually going to be winning this. Is it going to be a 2-0? Or is it going to be a best of 3 all the way through and through? But tune in and find out.
We'll have to see. I mean, what other matchups are you guys looking forward to? I know Bandits in Pajamas versus Stupid Team Div. That's going to be another good one. I feel like both of those could definitely make it a 2-win series either way. Bandits in Pajamas did a really strong showing the first week. Stupid Team Diff as well just fumbled a little bit with one game, but that's okay. They got the veteran team versus a pretty stacked team themselves, so we'll have to see about that one as well. Like you said earlier, I wish we could stream all of these, but it really depends on availability on the day and who we can get for casting those games. So, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any reschedules on this division as of yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to pick one of these. We'll see which one we can do. I think Double McFeeders versus Across the Map, that'll be an interesting one as well. Double McFeeders coming back with the full roster this time. We'll see how that goes. Kind of the same thing with I want to see Welfare Check Abusers come back from that 0-2 that they had last week in some way, shape, or form. Same with Sniper Gang. So we'll see how it goes. All these matchups are bangers, man. I want to stream all of them, but we can't.
We'll have highlights. Don't worry.
Yeah, and definitely send in your clips if you guys
don't forget that.
Please, quadra kills, pentakills, even triple kills. We'll take them.
I can hype up a double kill. Trust me.
Rallian, the man, the myth, and the legend. He can hype up a 2v2, a 1v1. You are fighting the turret, and he got you covered. Don't you worry about it. A caster minion, he has no problems.
No.
I mean, he definitely. I mean, especially when the odds are against people. Like, I think I remember like specific moments last season when Rylaion was casting, and it's like the guy was like under the tier 1 tower in bot lane, and I think it was an Akali player, and they somehow like just did a double kill out of nowhere, a triple kill out of nowhere, just solo, and it's like he makes those moments really stand out. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get Rylaion to cast these games for this week. We'll have to see. And this is a stacked schedule so far. But that's pretty much it. I think we went through everything.
Yeah, I would say definitely this has been a very good Team Gap recap overall. Next week, we'll definitely go ahead, and I hope to see, like I said, a little bit more mixture there between the standings themselves, like between first, second, third, and fourth at least. But yes, no, it was a very, very overall, very successful week 1 here for the PCL. So thank you again to everybody that tuned in, especially on the first day. Huge turnout, way bigger than I expected. I expected about like 20 to 30, and over 50 of you actually tuned in to watch us. So thank you so much to every single one of you that do that, because it's like, we wouldn't really be a whole lot without you all. So thank you again. If you're interested in joining, future leagues or anything along those lines, follow our Discord, follow us on Instagram, definitely give us a follow here on Twitch. Every little bit of support is super helpful. But once again, I am your boy Rylaion. Joining me tonight, the wonderful Wookie. Presentation wise, you can thank him, and Dark for all the statistics and putting everything together so that way we can at least read. So that is Dark himself. But yes, thank you so very much. We will catch you tomorrow night, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have a great night, everybody. Peace out.
Later.
Laters.